Hello, everyone. Welcome to College Coaching Network Ambassador Club Live. We are here with you again another Thursday at 3:30. Today, we're excited because we have Miss Tammy with us, who is from Calvary College, and she's going to be able to tell us about. Hi. She's going to be able to
Hey,
tell
hey.
us. Hey, God. Hi. She's going to be able to
Hey,
tell us about what Calvary has to offer, some of their programs, how you can connect with them, because they're definitely a great school and have been an amazing partnering school with College Coaching Network. So I'm going to let Claude kind of introduce Miss Tammy because they go way back. So I'm going to turn it over to
1992.
Claude.
Yeah, definitely. Class of 1992. That was the song. What was it? It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday by Boys to Men. That was
That was our class song.
graduation. Yeah, that was it. So
Yeah.
real quick, I want to, before we go down memory lane, I want to just give Calvary kudos for what you guys have done for a couple of our students. There was one, and again, it's all case by case. And so when you get to the admissions department, their success doesn't mean it's going to be your success. But I do want to highlight two people that came through our program. One in particular did not have the best GPA. I won't put that out there because I don't want people thinking this is going to happen for them. But she was an average student. ACT test score was not over the top. It was pretty average as well. And they came to us and they thought, man, we don't know how we're going to pay for college. Typical conversation we have, right? And so we call you and some other people there, and we scheduled the time for her to do a campus visit. You had a representative that met her at the admission office, and I met the mom and the daughter there, and I was given a amazing tour of the campus. It was my first tour. And it was I think it was a student that was doing work study. And so
We have a lot of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was able to not only get into college, but you guys got her into college basically with no money out of her own pocket. I think she had to pay $200 somewhere around there to get into college. So she came into my office thinking she was going to have to pay thousands of dollars to go to college, and it boiled down to a couple hundred, right? So can you talk to other families that are out there that they're at the last minute? They don't know how they're going to get their baby into college, and what Calvary has to offer that can give them some opportunities.
Sure. Thank you, Claude. Yeah, I'd be glad to talk about that. So, definitely, hello, everyone. Don't pay full price for school. That is just kind of my thing for Calvary University or anywhere else that you're looking to attend school. Find those deals, find those scholarships, the discounts. Connect with Claude. He has a great program and he is here to help you with school. And then also connect with your resources, your church, your parents' jobs. There's a lot of companies where parents work, where they have scholarships available. There might be some place, I know our local grocery store, Hy-Vee, sent some kid I know through engineering school. He happened to work there, and then he came back every year in the summer and worked there. So scratch every surface available. But now the first step for Calvary University or any other place you're wanting to go to school is to fill out the FAFSA. Filling out the FAFSA is going to basically tell the university kind of where you're at with financials. It'll also maybe give you a little bit of a picture too of what's out there and available, but you need to fill out the FAFSA. So just, what I tell people with college scholarship searches or any financial search is just to look at this, that time is money. And you are going to trade a little bit of time to get some money. So just get yourself a comfy chair, your drink, and, a laptop, and just sit down and do it. And what you'll need for the FAFSA is you'll need a couple years back of tax returns for your folks. Now, one of the things to, keep in mind for the FAFSA is a lot of times, students will have questions about, do I have to, include my parents in this? Like, they're not going to help me pay for school. which is fine, fair enough on them, if that's the arrangement that they've told you they're making with you. But as far as the federal government is concerned, unfortunately, that's just not the case. Until you are either 24 years old, or you have joined the military, or you have a child, then you have to use your parents' financials. You can't declare yourself independent just because
Oh,
you
can
feel
we
like
stop
you
this
are.
for just
Uh-huh.
Yes, can we stop? Mika's minds are on the same page. So we need to do one of those. I got a remote control here, and it's one of those. Let's take that back, right? Because what
Yes.
you just said, people need to hear. Because I promise, I just had this question asked to me yesterday
Yeah.
about, we're not going to claim him on our taxes anymore. How do we get him
Yeah.
independent student status, right? So
And
for
you
those,
just can't. It
thank you.
basically, you just can't. I'm so sorry. And I've had some really, I gotta be honest, I've had difficult conversations with students about this. One young man I talked to, he didn't even live in the same state as his parents anymore. They'd had a falling out. His parents were living up in Michigan and he was down here, and he really was self-supporting. But according to the federal government, just the way they have it set up, he did not meet any of the legal qualifications to be declared independent. Now, there are certain cases where you can write a letter basically and go through the proper channels, and your school can kind of, appeal that situation, or they can look into it on a very, very case by case basis. But it's really rare. It can't be just a situation of, well, we don't want to claim him, we don't want to support him, or they're not going to support me. The federal government kind of looks at that, to be honest, a little bit like child support. You can't just say, well, I'm not with her anymore, I don't want to pay. They don't care. Somebody's supporting that child, and they would prefer it not to be them. And kind of the same thing with college finances. Otherwise, if, everybody could just declare themselves independent, everybody would, and the government would be giving out, Pell Grants like candy. They don't want to do that. Now, for students, though, that do meet qualifications, they're them and their parents, then a Pell Grant is going to be a great option for those people who might not otherwise be able to afford school at all. So when you fill out the FAFSA, then there's always a possibility that you could get a little bit of a Pell Grant, or you could get quite a bit of Pell Grant. And so, certainly that's one of the reasons why I really urge people to fill out that FAFSA. And you could, I've seen students get 300 a semester in Pell Grant. I've seen other students that get 3,000 a semester in Pell Grant. And you just never know. A lot of it is based on your parents' income, but it's also can be based on how many, siblings you have, how many people in your household are attending college. That can affect, you getting Pell Grant. All kinds of different factors go into that.
Yeah.
So that is a really, really good thing to do, is fill out that FAFSA and see what happens.
So
And then oh yeah.
Before you go there, real quick, because
Uh-huh.
there's this is what happened with some of the students that came to me that we tried to make the recommendation of Calvary. And so before you go and give us more tips, because these tips are awesome, can we debunk the perception of Calvary? Because some people said Calvary, you know where I'm at with that. Calvary is a Christian school and nobody goes there unless you're going to be a pastor or work in seminary or something like that, right? Yeah. So can you tell us what Calvary has to offer so people can put in the box?
Absolutely. Okay, so Calvary has, as far as programs to be offered, Calvary has an amazing business program. We really do. And you can go through, you can get your undergraduate in business. We have business administration, we have business accounting, we have organizational leadership, we have sports management. I mean, so we have a wide variety of business programs. We also have grad school for business. And I know the head of the business department, the professors, they are presuming your first day of your freshman year that this is just the beginning and that you are going to eventually graduate from Calvary with a master's degree in business too. That is the presumption. And so that's what they're working towards from day one, is you walking across the stage with your master's degree someday. So the business department is really good. Education department, we have a really rock solid education department. We work with a lot of local schools, and most of our students get hired by whatever school they did their student teaching in. So that is a great possibility there. Now, we definitely do have ministry degrees. We have pastoral studies, we have Bible and theology. But I tell you what, Claude, our most popular program right now is biblical counseling. As you well know, the world is hurting. You know, it is. The world is hurting, and it is needing people who can speak to that in a good, clear way. So that is actually just become a huge part of what we do at Calvary is our biblical counseling program. Now, for biblical counseling, we have grad school available for that too. And so if people want to do, counseling of some kind, and they're wanting to have they're wanting to be a licensed counselor, they have to have a master's degree to get licensed to do counseling. And, I would love to talk to people about that too. We also have other programs available too. We have intercultural studies. Some people take those degrees and they go work, overseas in the missions capacity on the mission field. But some people take intercultural studies and they blend it with business, and they go work for, Sprint, IBM, Juniper Systems overseas, because they have that background in kind of understanding and knowing about different cultures, and kind of have a little bit extra about the world around them skills. So those are, definitely programs that we have. We also have collaborating programs with other schools where, maybe we don't offer, say, chemistry, but we partner with another school that does, and students can take some of their classes at Calvary, and then they take some of their classes with this other school. And then we just kind of combine those credits together, and we have a variety of those programs as well.
That's awesome. That is
So,
awesome.
yeah.
One of the before we go back to the tips real quick, one of the things that I loved about what you guys did for these two particular students was whenever the students had issues, it wasn't like they were just another number. I mean, there was countless amount of times that you guys would take the time to reach out to them and give them the additional support. You had tutoring, you had, people that cared about them. So like, can you speak to that? Because that's not typical at every college. Some of those other schools that are bigger, you're just a number. So like, why do you guys do that so much?
Well, we're a big enough school to have different programs. We have sports teams, we have music, we have theater, but we're a small enough school that we know our students and we have a relationship with our students. If you call Calvary, then you're not going to be on hold forever, passed around a lot. If you need to speak to the cashier, you're calling Grace. And you've talked to Grace before. If you're having trouble with IT, your, internet system's not working or something, you're going to call a person, and you have that person's name. And so we also have our Clark Academic Center, and that is available for students who are both on our campus and online. So they do things like you can send in a paper, email one in, they'll look at it, make suggestions, and email it back to you. Or if you're having trouble with math, when we were talking about math earlier, Mika and I were, you can set up a Zoom call or something on, Snapchat or Facebook Messenger or Teams. I mean, whatever it is you need to do to get through to the tutors so that they can help you with math. I mean, we even do tutoring in Greek. for some of our students that are taking Greek or Hebrew. And we have that available. We have one young lady who's studying with us. She's in Brazil, and she can still, from Brazil, contact us whenever she needs anything like that.
Nice.
Yes, I think that's absolutely phenomenal, because I think that some high school students, especially now during times like these more than ever, the transition in going into a large college may not be what's the best fit for that particular student. So having that kind of one-on-one, I can see how that can be a great benefit to a student with coming to Calvary. So with that being said, what has been your kind of avatar students that you've had attend?
Like kind of our type of students, are you saying? Okay, yeah. We have a lot of our students are from the Midwest. We do have students from other places, but we're kind of right here in the heart of America, and a lot of our students are too. Most of our students are from mid-income families, just kind of regular, everyday, average people. Our students are really dedicated students. Most of them do well in school and try hard. And a lot of them become student leaders. We don't have a lot of official clubs and activities and things like that on campus. So our students, we have student government. We also have something called the Nikeo Leadership Academy for students who, are interested in leadership. It's kind of an elite scholarship discount type program, but they're the ones on campus who really do take those leadership positions. But then our students also just kind of come up with their own activities and their own things. And my son is living in the dorm this year, and they have this whole group of them. They're playing D&D together, and they just kind of, somebody organizes it and they do it. All of our students are doing student ministry. We are a Christian university, so we require ministry. And a lot of them find ministries within the things that they're interested in going into. So we have some of our students who are intercultural studies, or there might be sports management students. They're doing a refugee soccer program in Kansas City. We have some of our students who are going into biblical counseling, and they're working down at City Union Mission for their ministry, or they're working at Restoration House, working with victims of human trafficking. So our students are busy with that too. And then most of our students are working. We're on a block schedule. So our classes are, like we were talking about finances before. One of the things that, I think Calvary has really recognized is our students are broke. They're all needing to have jobs.
And average college students.
Right. They are. But we have a situation where we have a block schedule. So our classes meet once a week. Most of our students are going to school only 1 or 2 days a week, which leaves them a lot of time for, extracurriculars, for their ministry opportunities, but also for working. A lot of our students are working anywhere. My son's working 30 hours a week. And so,
yeah, that is awesome. And also it gives them the ability to get in that internship experience, if they're anything in their field, because those are the biggest things that they ask when you graduate from college. What kind of experience? Like, I have a degree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they're like, so what? Yeah. Well, and especially for grad school, I know when I was in college, my roommate was a very high achieving student. She had a 3.8 GPA, and she'd done all the right things as far as college goes, but then she was trying to get into MBA school, and she got turned down by several because they said, you've never had a job in your life. What can you contribute to an MBA program?
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. So I just want to, and if you got any more tips, I definitely want to make sure we end it with that. But I just want people to understand that, like if you're a good athlete in high school,
Mm-hmm.
you can have people that will go to Bishop Miege here in town. They'll go to all these different schools that are out there, right? And they may not even be of the same faith,
Right.
but the education is phenomenal.
Yes.
The sports activities are up to par, with what they're looking for. And there's other things. So I think people need to look at the holistic thing, saying, hey, they're going to require that I do some ministry work. Okay. But the ministry work doesn't mean that you have a microphone in a pulpit, right?
No.
Right. Because what you just painted is a different picture of what ministry is. You said that they're actually going into the community, and by going into the community, they're actually giving back to people. Yes. So can you speak to that, like the different phases of what ministry looks like? Because a lot of times people think ministry is the guy with the jerry curl and the microphone and he's sweating and he's
coming to America. Is
that's not right. Or the late night infomercial.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So can you walk us through what that looks like?
Yeah. So basically, it's our mission at Calvary, and you'll see this in some of our literature, and it's even on the wall a few places. Our mission is to teach Christians to live and to serve in the church and the world according to the biblical worldview. So, what we're looking at is we are non-denominational, where we have students of several different denominations that are just, people of the book, basically. And so we're wanting them to serve. We want them to live and serve. And, really life is service. You're serving somebody. Every day when you get up, you're serving somebody. Yeah. And so what, we want our students to be doing is serving each other through some of our opportunities that we have of leadership on campus. We want our students to be serving their school, give back to, even it's simple things like pick up your trash, don't make messes, and, help out with campus activities. We want our students to be serving their community. And so it might be something like, Heart and Hand Ministries is a local agency that works a lot with homelessness in our community. And so, go down there and volunteer. They need help. Or, we had some young ladies that did a coat drive for Heart and Hand. Some of our students that had some extra clothes and things that they didn't need anymore. So there's all kinds of avenues where you can be a blessing and serve someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Sunday morning experience.
That's good. I could not have said that better myself.
That is great.
So give us some tips. You left off when I kind of was wanting to address the elephant in the room.
No, we'll talk about anything.
Yeah. So can you kind of close us out with you left off with they have to start with the FAFSA, get their aid, all that, and so from that point, what's the next steps for them to be able to look at getting accepted into Calvary and to possibly becoming a student at Calvary? What's the next steps after that?
Absolutely. So what I would just do is I would fill out an application. It's on our website at www.calvary.edu. Fill out the application. That helps us get to know them. And then from there, an admissions counselor will reach out to them and kind of help them through those steps of getting accepted, into Calvary and getting, connected with the scholarship team that works with, students trying to get them scholarships, works with financial aid and things like that. Now, a big recommendation I have for students is to do early college. If they're still in high school, go ahead and take a couple of classes while you're still in high school. It's going to be a great way to save money. Our early college classes are only $89 a credit hour. So,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of students are doing school online right now anyway. I mean, if you're doing
Mhm.
school online anyway, you might as well be in high school and pick up a few classes. But then from there, the admissions team will kind of walk you through those steps and then schedule a visit. It doesn't matter if you're looking at Calvary or any other college. I always tell students, you wouldn't buy a car you haven't driven, right? And well, college is a big time and money investment. And so if you're going to be spending 4 or 6 years somewhere, visit before you kind of sign off on it. And then also, if there's something you're wanting to do in school, if you're interested, our men's basketball team's headed to nationals. So yay, Warriors. So
Nice, nice.
we're very happy and proud of them. But if there's, something you're wanting to do in school, like be on a sports team, music, theater, something like that, then let your admissions rep know, and they can help you connect with those coaches or those professors in that field.
I love it. Do you have a football team or tennis, or what other sports do you have?
We have men's soccer, we have men's basketball, we have women's volleyball, women's basketball, and then we also have cross country.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, those are good sports. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Nationals is big. Nationals is big.
Yeah.
Nationals is big. So we both graduated class in 1992.
Yeah.
Long
Time ago.
Long time ago. So in closing, what would you say to the younger you about preparing yourself for college?
To get my finances squared away, I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. My parents had never been to college, and I was very unaware when I went to college. And so I would say, I would tell my younger self, look at the financials. Don't just sign and get a bunch of student loans, because it's easy. I would have tried harder to look at the big picture. But then also, I probably would have looked at it a little differently too. I probably wouldn't have gone to the same school, to be honest, because it was kind of expensive. And then I had visited once, but it was on one of the, I would have probably visited again maybe and got a little bit better feel for the school. I would have probably just said to pray about it and really kind of think it through a little bit, not to just be real surfacey with things. Talk to people more, get advice.
That's good stuff.
That is very good.
That is good.
You're 18. I mean, there's a lot of things, I was 18 and and I think though that one of the things that in all seriousness I've learned is that every experience you have is an education, and even though that might not be where I would choose to go again, I learned a lot. And I think that that's another thing too that's important for students to know. The average college student changes their major 3 times. And so, if students are feeling like everybody's asking me what I'm majoring in and I don't know and I'm feeling stupid, then they don't need to feel that way, because all these people that seem like they know what they're going to do, half of them are going to change their mind. And that's okay. If you get into the beginning of your junior year and you feel like, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? This is not the school for me, or why am I majoring in this? This is not working out for me. Then that's okay. It's okay to switch gears and just look at it that was an education. That was an experience. Take what you learned from it and then move on.
Yes, that's good. So before we go over to Mika, just in closing, thank you, because it's something about when you communicate, you make things clear. The tonality of your voice is kind of like a loving mom. And so people can take that in. It doesn't seem like it's somebody just coming at them, just straight, hey, but it's more from a loving position. But it's information that maybe their parents have told them, but maybe hearing your voice is reiterating what they need to actually listen to. And so just kind of what I'm hearing is like, make sure you get the finances in order. Don't just make an irrational decision. Make sure that you really think about it. And if you have a faith life, make sure you pray about it. And then also talk to other people. You know, don't make this decision by yourself. So those are good points. I'll pass it over to you, Mickey.
Yes. So again, I second everything Claude just said. Tammy, you have totally been phenomenal in your communication. And I will leave something that you said will allow our students and even parents to think differently about choosing what is their ideal university to attend. I definitely feel as though Calvary has a lot to offer to students and families out there, because they will become an extension of your family, as we've heard today.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that's very, very, very true.
Yes. So again, you can go to calvary.edu if you want to get more information, or if you want to register or schedule your visit. We want to thank you for tuning in to College Coaching Network Ambassador Club Live. Again, we have had the lovely Tammy with us from Calvary University. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.